Imagine Nikola Tesla, the legendary inventor, not just talking about electricity but dropping bombs like death doesn't even exist. He believed that no individual who has ever walked this earth has truly perished because energy is eternal and life is a form of energy. Seriously, he said, you will not die because you were never born. You have always existed in one form or another. We are only temporarily in these bodies in this world. When everything ends, we will simply move to another state. Everything is energy, and it never disappears. So, if one of history's greatest scientific minds believed that, what does that mean for your existence? Imagine an interview so profound, so ahead of its time, that it was actually hidden away for an astonishing 83 years. But now it's finally been unearthed, giving us a truly remarkable look into the legendary inventor's inner world. Most of you know Tesla as the brilliant physicist and engineer, the genius behind so many foundational technologies. But what you might not realize is that he was also a man of incredible enigma, someone who spent a huge amount of his life contemplating the eternal, the unseen forces of the universe, and the truly profound concept of life continuing beyond physical death. To secure funding for his groundbreaking experiments, he wasn't just promising incremental improvements, he was promising marvels to his backers, everything from wirelessly transmitting electricity to even concepts like teleportation. His mind was just racing light years ahead of his own era. Yet despite all this unparalleled genius, Tesla remained profoundly human, shaped by his own hopes, his fears, and his deeply held beliefs. He frequently reflected on big ideas like immortality, the divine, and exactly what lies beyond our final moments. Not too long ago, researchers stumbled upon this incredible interview Tesla granted to a journalist back in 1930, when he was 74 years old. Tesla's life spanned 86 years, and while the exact date of this conversation might still be a bit fuzzy, the ideas he expressed in it are absolutely striking in both their depth and their timeliness, even for us today. During their exchange, the journalist posed a truly unusual question to him. They remarked that it was believed Tesla had foreseen the direction of both the 20th and even the 21st centuries. They pointed out his incredible achievements in the lab. The atom was first split there, black cosmic rays were identified, and he even constructed a device capable of generating earthquakes. Some whispered that in time he would be remembered as the one who finally uncovered the secret that earth, air, and water are completely saturated with the living energy of the ether. "What are your thoughts on this?" the journalist pressed. Tesla's response was incredibly insightful. He said, "Indeed, that is one of my most significant discoveries." However, he immediately confessed, "I feel defeated, for I was unable to bring all my visions to fruition." The journalist naturally pressed him further. "Mr. Tesla, what specifically did you fail to bring to life?" After a thoughtful pause, Tesla replied with a vision that still gives me chills. "My ambition was to illuminate the entire planet. I could have created a second sun." He believed we possess more than sufficient energy for such a feat, but sadly, he concluded that mankind simply wasn't ready to embrace such revelations. He gave an example. "In Colorado, for instance, I charged the earth with energy." And then he touched on something even more profound, noting that compositions by musical masters like Mozart and Bach carry a positive force that is also absolutely usable. He believed that hidden within the earth itself lies the energy of peace, love, and joy. He literally devoted many years of his life to understanding how these intangible forces profoundly influence the human spirit. He continued, emphasizing that even the fragrance and elegance of flowers can be medicine, and that sunlight itself can nourish us. He truly saw that life presents itself in endless forms, and that the scientist's vital role is to uncover them in every single substance. Tesla continued, explaining that all of his life's work had been guided by this grand pursuit. He acknowledged, "I am aware that I will not uncover every secret, yet I will never cease my exploration." He believed we are only just beginning to sense the unseen forces that flow through the universe. And here's a wild prediction. He said that in close to 100 years, scientists would start speaking openly about dark energy, a pervasive presence that saturates the entire cosmos and fundamentally shapes both gravity and the universe's expansion. Talk about foresight. Throughout their conversation, Tesla increasingly returned to this mind-bending idea that the sources of energy capable of truly transforming humanity have long been near us, right in nature itself, in our own human emotions, in the harmony of music, and even in the very breath of the earth. He lamented that mankind had searched for power outside itself for far too long, completely forgetting that this immense power is contained within. He firmly believed that the energy that feeds the universe is not just a physical resource. It is something far greater. He called it ether, while others might call it the divine spark, but for Tesla, the essence was precisely the same. He asserted that all living things are nourished by this incredibly powerful force, and that it's hidden in the deep depths of the planet, in the very structures of light, in the harmony of sounds, and even in our thoughts. He claimed that, one day, this universal energy would become the absolute foundation of new technologies, capable of feeding the hungry, healing the sick, and completely eliminating the need for destructive energy sources. With a profound sadness, he noted that, in his own time, society was simply not ready to accept such revolutionary ideas. There was far too much politics, too much greed, and too much fear of the unknown stifling progress in the world. Tesla recalled a fascinating incident during one of his experiments where he observed the phenomenon of light disappearing, becoming incredibly concentrated in a single point in space, almost as if a star was devouring itself. He excitedly told the journalist, "I discovered a star that can disappear." According to his calculations, this star was located in our galaxy, and its light was so incredibly dense that it could be enclosed in a sphere the size of an apple, yet it would still weigh more than the entire solar system. These words, spoken decades before their time, would later become an uncanny foreshadowing of the concept of black holes, which scientists would only begin to discuss openly much, much later. He also spoke with great interest about religion, though notably without any fanaticism. In his insightful view, no single religion could claim to be the absolute truth. He asserted that all of them are simply reflections of the same deep human desire to understand the very source of life and one's own purpose. For him, religions and philosophies were attempts to explain the infinite with finite words, and while they might be useful, they ultimately held no significance on the vast scale of the universe. God, as I understand him, is an infinite force, Tesla declared. It is the energy from which everything originated, but it does not judge. It does not punish. It simply exists. He spoke cautiously, knowing that in the early 20th century, such thoughts could easily ruin a scientist's hard-earned reputation. But in this private conversation with the journalist, he was incredibly candid. He then dropped another bombshell: gravity. That is what we need to understand in order to learn how to fly. But he wasn't talking about airplanes. "I do not seek to create flying machines," he clarified. "I want to teach people to fly using their own consciousness." His ultimate goal was to activate the energy that he believed already exists abundantly in the air. And in another profound statement, he added, "Emptiness does not exist, not on Earth nor in the universe." He also claimed that the most powerful sources of energy are actually hidden within black holes, which he described as nothing less than gateways to primordial matter. For Tesla, this wasn't just dry scientific interest. Such phenomena also held deep philosophical significance. They symbolized transition, transformation, the very nature of existence itself. When the journalist, perhaps trying to ground him a bit, asked about personal matters, about family, homeland, and loved ones, Tesla responded calmly, almost indifferently. "I have never had a wife or children," he stated. "Only in solitude can one fully devote oneself to observing the world and its mysteries. A family requires energy, and I did not have it in abundance. Everything I had, I gave to my work." Despite this seemingly detached answer, the sources confirm he was a deeply feeling person. When the conversation shifted to human contradictions, to the fact that his own statements sometimes contained differing or even opposing ideas, Tesla explained it beautifully. He articulated his core belief. In the beginning there was energy. from which matter arose. Matter is simply a form in which energy is enclosed. He continued, emphasizing that everything we perceive, stars, planets, human bodies, trees, is essentially light compressed to a certain density, light that originated from the primary source. Therefore, for Tesla, death does not exist. There is only transition. He spoke with an incredible confidence, like someone for whom this wasn't just a theory, but knowledge gained through personal, profound experience. He added, "None of those who ever lived have truly died because energy is eternal and life is a form of energy." He explained that the body may depart, but the essence itself, the unique vibration itself, does not disappear. These ideas, of course, resonate deeply with many religious teachings, but Tesla firmly emphasized that he arrived at them not through blind faith, but through rigorous science. And yet, at the same time, he certainly did not deny the divine. God is light, he stated. It is the primary energy from which everything began. This light has no form. It requires no worship. It simply exists. It is in everything, in us, in the air, in the stars. He recognized that people often assign human traits to God to make it easier to understand, but the true awe-inspiring power of God, for Tesla, lay in his impersonality and infinite nature. The conversation then returned to the profound topic of death. Tesla reiterated that he was not afraid of it because death to him was not an end but a return. He offered a beautiful analogy, comparing it to how a wave simply returns to the vast ocean. "You will not die because you were never born," he asserted, stating that we have always existed in one form or another. We are only temporarily in these bodies, in this world. When everything ends, we will simply move to another state. Everything is energy, and it never disappears. These incredibly deep words simply did not fit within the rigid framework of the science of his time, but they were also incredibly difficult to refute. After all, much of what Tesla predicted was later confirmed by groundbreaking discoveries in quantum physics and astrophysics. When the journalist, perhaps curious about his foundational work, asked a question about the very nature of electricity, Tesla smiled for the first time during their entire conversation. "Everything is electricity," he declared. He explained that in the very beginning, there was an infinite source of light, and from it came the substances that formed the entire universe, and indeed the Earth with its incredible diversity of life. He then offered another mind-bending concept. "We are used to thinking that light is what we can see," he said, "but true light is black. It hides within itself the greatest mystery of the universe." He even claimed that a single quantum of this true black light could contain nuclear, chemical, mechanical, and even yet undiscovered energy. He went so far as to say that just one such particle would be enough to alter the orbit of the Earth. The journalist, clearly surprised, asked, "You claim that all matter is a form of light?" Tesla simply replied, "Exactly. Light energy that is primary, everything else is secondary. Matter is light frozen in a specific configuration." He concluded this profound thought by stating, "When you understand this, you understand that all living things are connected. We are not bodies, we are waves, vibrations, parts of a vast spectrum." He spoke with a quiet confidence, like someone who had truly seen something inaccessible to others. And then, the journalist cautiously touched on a topic that Tesla had mentioned in other writings, the intriguing concept of cosmic pain. "You often mention a kind of pain that permeates the universe. What does that mean?" they asked. Tesla paused for a moment, then answered, "Cosmic pain is what the soul feels when harmony is disturbed," he explained. He recognized that many people are unaware of it, but he believed it was the underlying cause of diseases, suffering, poverty, wars, and all the horrors of human existence. While he admitted we cannot completely get rid of it, he believed that simply the awareness of its existence could already ease the suffering. He shared a deeply personal example, explaining that he felt physical pain when someone close to him was in distress. "We are made of the same material," he stated. "Our souls are connected by invisible threads. When somewhere on earth a child or a kind person dies, you suddenly feel an inexplicable sadness. That is the very pain, not personal but shared cosmic." Tesla truly believed that this profound feeling could become a key to healing humanity. He asserted that stars and planets affect our condition far more strongly than we might even imagine. Their disappearance and appearance echo deeply in our dreams, our thoughts, and our intuition. Emotions, in his words, are not just simple reactions, but actually part of a complex mechanism of interaction between all beings in the universe. Understanding these intricate connections, he concluded, is an absolutely necessary step towards spiritual progress. He delivered a stark warning. Without the awareness that we are one, humanity is doomed to repeat its mistakes. This statement beautifully captures Tesla in his entirety, a bridge between scientific genius and profound prophet, between a physicist and a poet. In the second half of their amazing conversation, Tesla spoke more and more frequently about the mind-bending idea that all events in the universe are interconnected. In his brilliant opinion, every single thought, every single action, triggers a vast chain of reactions that affect not only human destinies, but the very fabric of reality itself. He described the world as a fabric where every single thread profoundly influences all the others. We cannot do anything that will not be reflected somewhere else, he stated. And he boiled it down to a simple yet powerful truth. Goodness begets goodness. Evil gives rise to suffering. Many of humanity's problems could be solved if we simply stop doing evil. Tesla understood that this might sound idealistic, even utopian. He harbored no illusions about human nature, acknowledging that man is inclined toward destruction. It is embedded in him. But he quickly added, "But this is not a sentence. We have a choice. Every day the key is kindness. Not causing harm is the highest expression of strength." He strongly condemned wars, even those supposedly waged under the banner of truth or freedom, because in his view, they always brought nothing but destruction and ruined countless lives. For Tesla, true victory is not victory over an enemy. It is victory over the desire to destroy. He passionately argued, "We must learn to resolve conflicts without violence. This is essential for the survival of humanity, especially now when the era of great scientific progress is already on the threshold." Tesla was a true visionary, believing that the scientific and technological revolution of the 20th century was only a prologue, just the beginning of something much bigger. He thought that in the future humanity would make a giant leap forward in medicine, in energy, and in space exploration. He envisioned a world where disease would be defeated with the help of vibrations, where travel to the stars would become a thrilling reality, and where energy would be free and accessible to absolutely everyone. But sadly, he was wrong about one crucial thing. War and aggression did not disappear. On the contrary, their causes became even more complex and insidious. Humanity learned to destroy with unprecedented power, but still, tragically, did not learn how to truly love. Nevertheless, Tesla remained an unwavering supporter of peace until the very end of his days. He truly believed in a bright future, holding on to the idea that an era of profound awareness would eventually follow the age of darkness. His final powerful message in the interview was this: "The future belongs to people of light, to those who carry knowledge, who are not afraid of truth, who choose good even in the darkest of circumstances. Humanity is not ready yet, but it is awakening, and that is what matters." These incredible words were the very last in this interview, which lay hidden in archives for more than 8 decades. And now it speaks again, a powerful message from a man who seemingly stepped beyond time, yet remained forever true to the earth. Truly mind-blowing stuff, right?